you mentioned about like making mistakes along the way. I think that sometimes, especially as like a younger person, I'm 26, looking at leaders like yourself or people who just appear to be there, where you want to be, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be discouraging.
Sure. Yep.
Because it just looks like all that we're seeing is like, oh my gosh, like, can you see this like space? Can you see this company? Can you see how much they've grown from there to there? Yeah. And I know there's a ton that we don't see, of course.
Sure.
But sometimes it can be discouraging to just think like, well, how the heck am I going to be there? It just seems like everything that they're doing just seems to be right and it works out. Could you tell a little bit, like maybe behind the curtain, so to speak, of like, maybe not specific mistakes, but just kind of your own journey of trying to make it what it is and fix mistakes or, do the best that you can, but acknowledge that you're not a perfect person? How would you encourage maybe some young people who are eager,
sure,
but they're quickly discouraged when they see somebody who's where they're at and they tell themselves, I have no idea how I could ever do that?
Yeah. Well, I would say if you're looking at someone who is very successful and maybe older than you and has made it, don't be discouraged, be encouraged, because they did it and you can too. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. It matters a lot more how hard you work.
Yeah.
And so if you can just get some sort of a vision or goal in your mind, that's really important. You can't hit a target you can't see. So you have to have a goal or a vision in mind. And then recognize it's not going to happen overnight. Value hard work and don't be afraid of hard work. And so, when I was your age, I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this amazing leader. They have it all together. Look at this amazing organization. They have it all together. And I think that's really accentuated these days, Dan, by social media. You go on anyone's social media account, it looks like they have everything together. Right. These organizations are perfect and have it together. I don't have everything together. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I'm doing my best, and I have lofty places that I want to go and that I want the company to go. And we're not there yet. And I think, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get there? And I look out at successful people and I think, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be like that? So everyone feels like
everyone
that.
Does that. Yeah.
No one has it all together perfectly because we're all human. There's no organizations that have it together. I was talking with someone the other day who works at a huge, amazing corporation. Huge corporation. And they were telling me about some of their practices that are just so old and archaic and aren't working, and they're struggling over there and they're trying to get everything together. And yet you see their TV commercials and they look amazing and they're perfect.
Right.
No one has it all together. No organization has it all together. So all we can do is set our goals on what we want to achieve and then just work really hard towards them. And one of my favorite quotes is by Henry Ford, who said, nothing's ever particularly difficult if you break it down into small enough steps. And I think that's really true in life. You might want to accomplish this thing that's just out of reach and amazing, but if you can figure out the small steps to get there, that makes it a little more doable, right, and achievable. So, is that a good answer? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a great answer.
That's what came to mind when you said that.
No, it just gives some people, like, it makes you relatable, like, oh, okay, so it sounds like we're kind of, not to be depressing, but it's normal to always be in this, like, perpetual state of I'm not there yet, I guess. And so it sounds like you're in a place where even you can see, you've been in Blue Compass for 13 years, but you're looking at people who've been in their companies for 30 years, and you're like, man, how are we going to get... it makes us feel kind of connected and united in that way, I guess.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm doing this year, Dan, is a gratitude journal, which I've never really done before. But I think gratitude is one of the healthiest feelings or emotions we can possibly feel. And so every day I'm trying to write down what I'm thankful for. And it's really easy for us to not be content.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how successful you are, how much money you are. We always want more if we don't check ourselves.
Yep.
And so, I'm trying to combat that by just reflecting on all the things I have and how thankful I am. And it's difficult, Dan, to balance being content with trying to be excellent and achieve more, because I don't want to just sit and be totally happy with what I have and never grow. But on the flip side, I don't want to always be striving towards something and therefore never be happy because I'm where I want to be. So we have to be grateful, we have to be content with what we have, but we also have to be committed to growing at the same time.
Yeah,